Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the Blount County Beer Board April 10th, 2018 meeting. At this time, if you're here, I'd like you to register your presence. Thank you. Before we get started, I'd like to read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm may sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you have reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles. Madam Clerk, if you take the roll, please.
Mr. Chairman, you have 6 members present and 3 absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This time, I'll move to item A, stand for a motion to set the agenda. So moved by Commissioner Daly, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All those in favor?
Wait just a minute.
Going a little fast.
Okay.
Please register your vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 6 yes votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That motion passes. We'll move to item B, approval of the minutes of the Beer Board meeting for March 15th, 2018. I'll stand for a motion to approve those minutes. So moved by Commissioner Caskey and seconded by Commissioner Carver.
What's your button? Okay. Ready to start voting.
If you're in favor of approving the minutes, please register your vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 6 yes votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That motion passes. This time, we'll ask if there's any public input on items on the agenda. Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing no hands, we will move to item D, new business. The first order of new business is a public hearing regarding a request for on-premises beer permit for Wild Laurel Limited Liability Corporation, 702 Country Club Drive, Townsend, Tennessee, 37882. At this time, I will declare that the public hearing is open, and I will turn it over to our attorney, Mr. Craig Garrett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do we have a representative of Wild Laurel present? If we do, come to the podium, please. And would you state your name, please, sir?
John Trotter.
Mr. Trotter, would you raise your right hand and take the oath? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the answers or information you provide to the board tonight will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, I do.
All right. Mr. Trotter, on behalf of Wild Laurel LLC, you filed for an on-premises permit, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And I understand the area is the old Laurel Valley Country Club?
That's
up in
correct.
Townsend? Are the applications, are the statistics in your application true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, they are.
And you have had the sheriff's department measure the appropriate distances required by our beer ordinance?
Yes, sir.
And as I understand from your application, nothing's really very close to you. The closest church is over 4,000 feet, closest school's over 16,000 feet. And I think no residents are within 300 feet of the premises, is that correct?
That is correct.
And there was previously, the country club up there previously sold beer when it was previously owned, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Does any member of the board have any questions for Mr. Trotter? Comments? Any member of the public have any questions for Mr. Trotter? Okay, Mr. Chairman, I will declare the public hearing closed and recommend to the board that the applicant meets the qualifications for a beer permit at that location.
Thank you, Mr. Garrett. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Have a move to approve by Commissioner Caskey. Seconded by Commissioner Carver. All those in favor, please signify by registering a yes vote. Those opposed, a no vote.
Chairman, there are 6 yes votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Sir, your permit has been approved. If you will come by the clerk's office in the morning, she will have your paperwork ready. All right. Yes, sir. At this time, I will declare the public hearing closed. We will move on to item 2 under new business. And this is a first reading regarding a request for an on-premises beer permit for Fans of the Mountain Limited Liability Corporation, doing business as Smoky Mountain Speedway, 809 Brick Mill Road, Maryville, Tennessee, 37801. At this time, we will set the second reading for May the 8th at 6 p.m. Yes.
I'm with Smoky Mountain now. Didn't recognize itself earlier. If you want me to say anything.
No, sir, you're not required. You will need to be present at the May 8th meeting, 6 p.m. Yes, sir. That's when you'll be required. All right. I'll stand for a motion to set this hearing.
So moved. Or second.
So moved by Commissioner Carver, seconded by Commissioner Caskey. The next, your second reading will be on May the 8th at 6 p.m. in this room. Let's vote first. At this time, if you're in favor of setting the meeting for that time, register your vote.
Mr. Chairman, there are 6 yes votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That motion passes. Yes, ma'am. If you'll come to the microphone, please.
If we're unable to make the May the 8th,
You can send a representative
okay,
to the, you don't necessarily, owners don't have to be here. But
okay.
you can send a
does
representative.
it need to be an owner or does it matter?
It
who's-
can be any member of the
Okay.
corporation
Okay, okay.
or business.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We will move to item E3, and that is discussion and possible action regarding distance requirements for on and off business permits. This is under new business. We've had several people approach the committee wanting to discuss the distance requirements. This is put in the packet for your consideration and will be on the next agenda. So that will be on the May 8th agenda for discussion. Have any comments, any questions? All right, with that, yes.
Do you have any specific information that you want from me for that meeting?
Yes, sir, you might have a copy of the beer laws, Blount County beer laws. We can include those in our packet.
What are we looking at? Are we looking at possibly reducing distance?
That's the request. We've had several requests for reducing the requirements. And while we're on this subject, for your information, based on our attorney's research, if we do that, we have to reduce those requirements for both on and off permits. Am I correct in stating that, Mr. Garrett?
Yeah, that's correct. They have to be the same. You can't have one for on and one for off.
Okay.
Whatever you do, they have to be uniform.
Thank you, Mr. Garrett. Okay, I'll need a motion to postpone item D4.
I make the motion.
All right. Have a motion made by Commissioner Carver
Second.
and seconded by Commissioner Caskey. All those,
Wait, hang on,
don't give me,
we're off sync tonight. Carver
and Caskey.
Okay.
If you're in favor of the motion, please register your vote.
Mr. Chairman, there are 6 yes votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That motion passes, and we will take that up at our next meeting. And item 4, we have already set the next meeting. I will reiterate that. It will be May the 8th at 6 p.m. At this time, I will adjourn tonight's beer board.